Bang! With one simple pull of the trigger, and that is the end of one's life. Many people believe that guns are very important for safety reasons, but I can easily say that I do not believe it is necessary to have carrying guns at all times. Stated on the NRA's website, a gun's main purpose is for self-defense. Although this may be true, a gun's main role is to kill someone. Therefore, the excuse to have a gun for self-defense is not valid. If you intend to use a gun, you are intending to kill somebody. Therefore, it is not a good reason to have one. A large portion of the United States thinks that the guns are a great thing. They are available for self-defense, for hunting. Families often use them to make their homes feel safer. If one's interested in mechanics of firearms, and some people use guns purely because they have the rights to do so in America. As opinionated as this may sound, and most people probably do not agree with me, I do not think that people should have the rights to keep guns on them at their homes or in their pockets at any times. Due to the fact that oftentimes it is used for unnecessary situations and completely taken advantage of. Police officers are the only people who I believe should be allowed to carry guns. The purpose of having a gun is to help keep the community safe and is rarely needed in most situations. Once they are done with the work, it is to stay there and be locked up. My opinions may seem a little small-minded, but there are many reasons why I have these feelings towards guns. It is not very difficult for people to get their hands on guns. The right to carry laws permit individuals who meet certain criteria. This criteria consists of completion of background check and gun safety course to carry concealed firearms in most public places. Concealed carry holders must also meet the minimum federal requirements to gun ownership. Although for some states, these things are not always required. Each state has its own laws regarding the right to carry and falls in one of three main categories. The first category is shall issue, which states concealed carry permits are issued to all qualified applicants. The second category is the may issue. In that state, the applicants must often present a reason for carrying a firearm, and the person issuing the authority decides whether or not this explanation is worthwhile. And the third category is no issue, which states a concealed carry is generally forbidden. 40 of 50 states are shall issue, which means that they have to get a permit to do so. Some states do not even require a permit to carry guns, such as Vermont, Alaska, and Arizona. All other shall issue states require firearm owners to obtain a permit to carry concealed guns. Illinois is the only state that is no issue state. Yes, most states require a long process to receive a permit to carry a gun, but they still make it too easy for people to do so. And clearly, there are still issues today of these laws. The best way to prevent firearm-related injuries for children and teens is to keep guns out of homes and communities. Children could not even be playing with toy guns. Although that seems very dramatic and overprotective, kids are more likely to mistake toy guns with real guns. At a young age, many children are being told to play with a toy gun is okay. Although it is just a toy, they are pointing them at real people and yelling bang. This is just modeling for kids that it is okay to do so, and that guns will not hurt people, which can lead to confusing and misunderstanding in the future. About 17 years ago, I formed this opinion on guns, and to this day I have only grown stronger about them. Everyone has a best friend, and the last thing you want is to lose your friend. Well, my father's best friend was named Frank Fontana, but I know him better as Uncle Frank. This is a picture of my Uncle Frank and my father, just on a little vacation together. Spent a lot of time with each other. My Uncle Frank owned a little Italian restaurant, and one evening he had an issue with one of his customers. The customer was highly intoxicated and asked to leave the restaurant immediately. Once he was on the other side of the building, he decided to whip out his gun and express his anger. In an attempt to vandalize the restaurant, he shot at the window. My uncle was unfortunately standing behind the window and took a bullet straight to the head and lost his life instantly. because someone had the rights to carry a gun and clearly was not capable of having such a responsibility. Although this story seems very drastic and unlikely to happen, accidents just like this one happen more often than you would expect. An article on MomLogic.com states that a toddler was searching through his father's car. He stumbled upon a gun when he was inspecting an unfamiliar object that appeared to be just like one of his toys. He shot himself in the face. This is not a freak accident. More than 500 children die a year from accidental gunshots. Here are a few examples of these accidents that happen because people should not have the rights to have guns in their home. A 4-year-old boy shot himself to death after finding a loaded gun at a friend's house during a birthday party. A 2-year-old boy shot himself in the chest with a loaded gun he found in his parents' couch while playing. A 10-year-old son of a New York City police officer died after shooting himself in the face with his father's loaded revolver. The boy found the weapon on a shelf in the basement while he was looking for a ball that his mom had hid from him. While the parents have them for self-defense and whatever other reasons they can come up with, I am sure after these accidents they do not feel the need to have them anywhere near their home. These accidents would be lessened largely if it was not so easy for people to have the rights to have guns, and many of these accidents aren't only from young children, it also happens with older kids and adults. CBS News and New York Times did a chart on whether or not handguns laws were too strict or not. Here is the pie chart, and 68% of people think that it should be more strict, while a lot less people just had no personal opinion at it at all, and they thought they should be kept as they were. Only 4% said that they should be less strict, which clearly isn't many people. 200 million Americans own firearms, and 35% of homes contain at least one gun. Last year, a study conducted by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention found that more than 1.7 million children live in homes with loaded, unlocked guns. JustFacts.com mentioned that roughly 16,272 murders were committed in the United States during 2008. Of these murders, about 67% were committed with firearms. Through the years, these numbers have not dropped. The simple way to eliminate these problems could clearly be to get rid of the easy access to guns. Yes, it is important for people to defend themselves, to feel safer in their own homes, but there are many other ways to do so than just relying on guns. One is a little bit of pepper spray. Usually does the trick. Even though they do not plan on using the guns, they still feel safety from knowing it is in their home. But a gun is not a good self-defense weapon. And once a child finds it in their parents' closet and decides to investigate it and pull the trigger, you can say goodbye to your child's life. Or when a drunken customer stumbles out of the restaurant and in outrage ends the life of a man's best friend, a father, a husband, and so much more, these guns clearly are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. These incidents could all be abolished in one simple way. Make stricter gun laws for those who find it extremely necessary, and do not allow any person in the United States to carry a gun on them at any times.